the police. You have a bunch of momentum going in for reformative change.
Right.
This guy's coming here talking about white Jesus. For what? For what, bro? This got nothing to do with nothing right now. We're not.
Bro, no. I just
No,
here's
no.
the thing. Here's, live.
Live.
Live. Welcome back to the Opinion Factory podcast, the podcast for free thinkers and challenge seekers.
Yes, sir.
I'm Khelil.
I'm Alex.
And for those who haven't heard yet, and for those who don't know who Shaun King is an activist, and he recently called for the removal of statues of white Jesus. He says that white Jesus, statues of white Jesus, are forms of white supremacy and oppression. And now, word for word, he made this post on his Instagram 6 days ago, and this is what he said. Yes, I think statues of the white European they claim is Jesus should also come down. They are a form of white supremacy, always have been. In the Bible, when the family of Jesus wanted to hide and blend in, guess where they went? Egypt, not Denmark. Tear them down. Now, Shaun King received a lot of backlash about this from, I think, across the aisle, conservatives, Democrats, everyone. People are saying that this is a form of distraction or it's something else.
Bro, does this shit really matter right now? Like with everything going on, does white Jesus really matter right now?
I think it does.
No.
What do you mean?
You see, man, this is where dudes are losing focus right now, bro. All right.
I don't.
Yeah, no. Hold up, bro. You have a bunch of momentum going in with Black Lives Matter. You have a bunch of momentum going in with defund the police. You have a bunch of momentum going in for reformative change.
Right.
This guy's coming here talking about white Jesus. For what? For what, bro? This got nothing to do with nothing right now. We're not.
Bro, no. I just
fight this battle later, fam. This got nothing to do with nothing right now.
Bro.
All right, bro. No one's going to these marches talking about white Jesus, bro.
No one is. But here's the thing. Recently, we started tearing down statues of slave owners, racists, bigots, because they are forms of white supremacy and oppression.
Bro.
While we're on this wave, why not dismantle white supremacy even further by taking on the statues?
Because we're losing focus, bro. It's a slippery slope, man. I don't care about the symbolic stuff, bro.
No. This is not.
It is symbolic, bro. It does not, like, these are all symbolic. The statues, whatever they represent something. I don't care about representations right now. I care about systemic change and policing, housing, education, bro. I don't care about statues, and we're losing focus.
And we can't just defund the police and give the money to other places without attacking white supremacy directly.
Yeah. What?
No, we cannot.
And the statues attacking white supremacy directly, bro?
It's a part of it.
Oh, it's not an important part of it, fam. It's not important enough to us to divert our energy from it.
If it's not important, then why? So you think that it's okay to tear down statues of racists and other forms of white supremacy, but it's not okay to tear down this form of white supremacy? Why is that?
Because it's way more complex and layered than just, white Jesus, bro. It's a Christian country, right? That's been founded on
Christianity.
What we're doing is we're going down a slippery slope of who we are.
What is the slippery slope, bro?
It's first you take down statues, now you're coming for religion, now you're coming for what's next, bro. Like these things aren't related right now, bro. It's not important.
We're not saying get rid of Christianity. We're not saying Jesus is a fraud. We're saying depictions of white Jesus as it's been widely spread is it's propaganda. It bolsters white supremacy. It bolsters oppression. It's being used to oppress us directly, and we want to take down those monuments. This is not a distraction at all.
Right now is not the time for this, bro. Like it really is, bro. It could be
when white supremacy is dismantled.
Bro, we're not, like, now you're going down a religious avenue, fam. You attacking people's religion, it's never gonna go well.
I don't see how this is a slippery slope, because
it's just, bro, right now is not the time for this, bro, because the people that are already detracted from, it's first you come for the Confederate statues, you come for my history, blah, blah, blah. You heard the argument before. Now you're coming for Jesus. Now you're coming for my religion. Like, those people are, like, the people you're trying to move are now going to be even deeper entrenched, because it's like, these people aren't going to stop until they get everything they want. So I'm saying right now we should be focusing all our energy on getting laws reformed systemic things change within police, within housing, within education before we
Alright.
worry about statues, bro. This
Listen,
statue's not important to me, fam.
listen,
It's
I'm not
really not.
saying that statutes are more important than laws or more important than laws or policies. They're not, but they are important. And by the way, saying that these statutes must come down does not mean that we're not saying that policies need to change. There's no rule that says we can only fight one battle, because we've never fought just one battle.
No, I never.
We're fighting voter suppression. We're fighting in insufficient funding for our schools and hospitals. We're fighting healthcare discrimination. We're fighting all these battles at once. And so no one says that we have to focus on police brutality and policies only. And if we're talking about tearing down white supremacy at its core,
fam,
why would you keep the centerpiece that has enabled slavery, enabled oppression for so long, a part of what enabled slavery and oppression for so long? That's a part of it too. And it's not a distraction to bring it up.
You can say it's a part of it. How many people feel it that way? Like, I feel like Shaun King's one of the only people that feel like Jesus is oppressing them, or when they see his statue of white Jesus, they feel oppressed. And on top of that, it's not like they were only using religion to justify what was going on.
No.
So what I'm saying is, bro, this is so far. It's so far left from everything else going on, bro. Look at the things you just listed, and now we're talking about white Jesus statues for what? It's so far left of everything going on. We don't need to worry about this.
We're talking about statues that uphold and enable white supremacy. That could be racist.
How is white Jesus upholding white supremacy right now?
Upholding white supremacy?
No, right now. How is a statue of white Jesus upholding white supremacy right now?
First of all, look at how people are reacting to saying that white Jesus is factually inaccurate. Okay. I don't think a lot of black people are saying, yo, this isn't right. Like, just leave the statues, right? Black people are saying, let's focus on his teachings. I'm gonna get into that. But right now, when you have statues of white Jesus still being spread, you have people who still believe that what they taught, or that the centerpiece of this religion, right, the white Jesus that they used from slavery, from Jim Crow, all that stuff to justify all that stuff, still has a point. No, all right, how do I word this? White Jesus, you cannot oppress a man that looks like the God that you worship. The fact that they changed him to be white is an avenue to escape all of the things that they did to blacks.
No, it's not, because you know what else they use for an avenue? They use biology for an avenue. They said the black man is they said the black man is genetically inferior to white people.
They did.
They did not need Jesus for that, bro. They were going
the Bible.
What does calling the Bible mean? They also use science, bro. They also use science. They had doctors.
I'm not saying they didn't.
That came in. I forgot the name of this doctor. I remember reading this case like not too long ago. It was some type of genetics, but they're examining black skulls versus white skulls, bro. That's why I'm saying why it's not right now. Focusing on white Jesus does not accomplish anything for us right now, bro. Like right now we have momentum, and now we have all this momentum, and it's like we have all this momentum, and now we're just going way off the path of something that's not really that important right now. It's really not.
It's not as important, but it's still important. And when you're in the path of taking out monuments, white supremacy,
we can fight. We can fight that battle later, bro. Because what you're gonna do is you're gonna exhaust people. Fam. What you're gonna do is you're gonna exhaust people. It's gonna be you only have so many. You're
gonna exhaust people.
You only have so many fucks to give about the cause, right?
No, what do you mean?
Listen. Before you get outraged, you only care so much about a cause that doesn't personally affect you, right? So if we have all this momentum, all these people caring about a cause that doesn't personally affect them. Right, and now we're going to start implementing changes. Like we've seen Colorado, they put in laws that get rid of qualified immunity for police. Right, and now they also put in another law in Colorado that says that if a police body cam isn't on, their testimony won't be validated. Right, so we have serious change coming here, and now we're going to like Jesus. It's like, where is this coming? Like, no.
We went to statues before we went to Jesus.
Yes, but these statues are symbolic measures, bro. These as much as important or not as important as it could be. They're symbolic things. Right now, getting rid of symbols is not important as compared to getting rid of systemic change, fam.
So you're saying that when Shaun King calls for statues of white Jesus and monuments of white Jesus to be taken down, he's saying that we should stop talking about police brutality.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying all the momentum we have is going to be diverted because now we're going to something complete. Now we're going into religion and other things that are not related to this cause right now.
We went into Confederacy already. It was
yes.
already
so here's you know
what those statues do right now. How are those statues of racists in wherever they were contributing to white supremacy right now?
That's a completely different conversation, brother. You're talking about white people, like racist Confederate soldiers that are anti-American versus white Jesus, bro. Like right now, this is going to be a battle that we don't need to fight right now, fam. You have to choose.
No, hold on. It's white Jesus. Why do you?
Fam, listen. You have to choose. You have to pick and choose your battles. Right now, this is not the battle we need to pick and choose right now.
Can we pick and choose? Do we have that luxury? Can we say let's focus on police brutality at the expense of healthcare reform?
No, we cannot. No.
Picking our battles.
Black lives. It's what is the focus on right now? Police reform, right? Is that what you would say right now? Is all the media attention going to police? So we have to pick and choose our battles, fam. Because right now this whole thing is turning into a police conversation. No one's talking about the Black Lives Matter movement with healthcare or education. No one's talking about that right now. Right now it's not a lot of people. When people are talking Black Lives Matter and everything you see or everything people talk about is about prison and police brutality. That's what the just of the conversation is right now.
Okay.
Right? So now we're taking all the momentum we have, all the laws are being changed, and now we're talking about white Jesus.
So where was this energy when we started tearing down statues before? Why was someone saying
you know what the problem is, bro? Because these are symbolic things that are gonna take away from the things that we're actually trying to accomplish. So now you'd be like, oh, here
white Jesus isn't?
How? Like we can talk about white Jesus, but white Jesus is not important. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Right now, it's not that important, fam. That's what I'm telling you, bro. In a country that's growingly atheist, right, or a country that's growingly non-religious, white Jesus is not that important right now, and it's not where our energy should be diverted.
I agree with you. Not as much energy should be. I'm not saying let's stop talking about police brutality and start talking about white Jesus. I'm just saying this is not a distraction. That white Jesus is still a part of the problem, and it's not a waste to consider these things.
Son, you got, bro. If I came up to you about like some medical condition that was affecting people, right? And you cared because you're just a person, and you care about other people, and this medical condition started going on into this religious or political aspect, and you'll be like, what's going on here, fam? Right? So now the person that was caring already that wanted to fight this cause with me, right? It's like, oh, this cancer is affecting mad people. And then the leader of this cause just started talking about politics or religion. You're going to be like, what the hell is going on? Is there
talking about the medical condition?
No, they didn't. But you're going to be like, why are they talking about this? This is not why I came here for. This is like, do you not understand what I'm saying?
Those things are completely unrelated. You're saying that monuments of white Jesus should not be related to the tackling of white supremacy.
No. I like you could say I understand what Shaun King is saying, but I really don't feel like it is. And the reason why I don't feel like it is, like, maybe in the past it has been, but there's a belief in white people and racist white people, excuse me, that they are like I hear the argument genetically superior way more than God said this, God said that. So this is what I'm saying. So even if we take this, like, how much of the population does this affect? We're a growingly atheist country. Right, I think atheism right now is 35% in the U.S. Right, or agnostic. So what I'm saying is, right now, this is not an important thing to even discuss. It's not even in the realm of importance to discuss. It's not, bro.
I disagree 100%. Because if people talk, I had this question on Facebook maybe a week ago that when we talk about defunding the police and funding all these other organizations, what's to say that they're not systematically just as racist? What do we have to do before we start making all these policy changes? Because there's been policies in place for a long time against discrimination, and we can't say that discrimination stopped. So what do we need to do in lieu of these policies? Not in lieu, but in addition to these policies, to complement these policies, to make sure that our efforts aren't just going to be a rerun of the civil rights era. When we get something, but then the laws that are put in place are still being disrespected. To do that, we need to tackle white supremacy at its core. And there's a lot of things in this cycle of white supremacy, in the cycle of oppression, in the mentality of white racists that they use to justify where they are and what they believe.
And I am not
Part
hearing
of that
this.
is this iconic, whatever you say that word, the icons of white Jesus. It was historically changed for a reason. It matters. It was not an accident that this Israeli, this man born in Jerusalem, has blonde hair, red hair, blue eyes, and looks like he's from Denmark. That's not a coincidence. You can't say it doesn't matter at all.
I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm saying the relevance right now is not as strong as it was
Talking
back
about
then.
white supremacy, and it wasn't changed. It wasn't changed because it had nothing to do with white supremacy.
But bro, listen, like the relevance of it right now is not even nowhere as important. And if you're talking about tackling white supremacy, isn't tackling white supremacy more? Isn't it more important to attack the laws and have more transparency around the things we're giving money to, around the budgets, around the people that are allowed to hold power? Isn't that more important than the symbolisms of what? Huh?
Are we even really disagreeing right now?
No, we're not. But we are, because you have to understand why this white Jesus thing is gonna turn people off, bro. Now it's like what the hell's going on?
Is
like
that really, bro? Even after everything, even after you look into it, even after everything Shaun King said, I implore you who are listening, who are watching, to go read about how white Jesus was used as a tool, how he is used as a tool. I am probably not the best person to explain that stuff.
Yeah, you could talk about how
he can't articulate everything that I read, but to say that it doesn't matter at all right now, when we are in the moment of tearing down these statues of Christopher Columbus, of George E. or whatever Lee is, whatever his first name was, I don't care about that guy, but all these statues are coming down because we know what they represent. We also know what white Jesus, the transformation of Jesus into white man, we also know what that represented. Why is it that we have no time, no space, no energy at all for even a discussion, at least, about this as an aside, while we're still focused on police brutality and on our policy reform, when it is a part of the cycle of white supremacy, the same cycle that we're trying to dismantle?
Because there's more important things that are in the factor of that cycle of white supremacy right now.
But it's not getting as much attention as those more important things.
In the relevance of importance to white supremacy, I don't believe, or I don't think that white Jesus is really this important in tackling white supremacy in America. I don't see that, bro. I don't, because people aren't using religion to justify the white superiority. They're not using it anymore.
They're not using Christianity anymore.
Yes. So why do we not? How do you not see that it's not that important anymore, fam?
I'm saying it's not as important as as the other things that we're finding out.
Yes, but I'm telling you, bro, if you're part of a movement and the movement is focused on specific things, right? And then out of left field, you come for people's religion or whatever belief they have, it's gonna be like, what the hell is going on, bro? That's what I'm telling you. You only have so many fucks to give, bro. So if I'm a person that I'm like, yo, come join this movement with me, and then now we're trying to tackle this, and this, and then all of a sudden I'm talking about, oh, we're going on this thing that's way out of the movement, or that might be part of the movement, but it's so far detached. Now I have to take this time to aside to now explain and break everything down about the history. You're gonna be like, no, I'm not here for all that. No, I'm not here for that. No, you're talking about from us, but I'm talking about from everybody, fam.
No, from everybody. If I say, yo, I want to support Black Lives Matter, I want to support the movement and everything they fight for. They fight it for police reform, they fight it for healthcare reform, they fight it for voter suppression, for fighting against voter suppression, all this stuff. Great, I'm for that. I get there, I'm at the rallies, I'm in forums, I'm doing all this stuff, and I say, yo, iconography of white Jesus is problematic. This is something that we should discuss, and it should come down. I don't really believe that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to keep fighting against police brutality. I'm going to keep fighting fighting for medical reform. I'm going to keep fighting for all the things that I think should take my focus. Because this discussion to the aside, if people don't want to focus on this, they have that choice not to. because there's still a lot of things going on that has nothing to do with this.
Which is cool, but you're gonna turn them off from the cause because now it seems like your energy is not only. It seems like your energy is misplaced, or your energy is there's like some ulterior motive that's coming on now. Like it's funny. Freaking Terry Crews said some nonsense about we have to make sure we're fighting for equality. We don't want to have black supremacy, which is not even a concept we had. I don't think any black person had, or it's not even a conversation. Black supremacy. Whereas, we have to be careful how we fight this because we don't want to have black supremacy. Like we want to make sure we want to make sure people are equal in this country. Right? We don't want to have black supremacy. That's what he said. I can.
All right. All right. No, that's fine.
But do you see like how like it's just so obvious? Like, what the hell is this guy talking about?
I know what he's talking about.
What is he talking about?
I was gonna say that for a different topic, but what he's saying is something that I've been telling you or asking you about for a long time, because I get the sense that a lot of people on our side are not just fighting for equality. I feel like if black people were put in the same position white people are right now, they would be just as bad, or a lot of them would be just as bad because they want revenge.
No,
That's what he's warning against. He's warning against becoming the very thing you're fighting against, which happens a lot. I've said that before, I'll say it again. Very often, people become the thing that they fight against. And so he's saying, make sure in our fight that once we get equal, we're not fighting to, now say that, let me make my cousin's now a CEO of a big company. Now he's going to make sure he doesn't hire as many white people. Like he's discriminating against white people because that's what they used to do to us. Now we're for it. It's all great. But how are we so different from what they were doing before?
How are we so different? Because there's not 400 years of oppression that's involved.
No, but now
there's not. No, hold on. There's not 400 years of oppression that were involved before. There wasn't enslavement of white people before. There wasn't a genetic superiority complex of black people over white people before. There was never an idea of putting laws in place that systemically hold white people down. So you're eliminating 400 years of history, and now you're worried about a CEO. Oh, black person. It's not even close. The context is not even close to.
No, we can get into. Not even close to the same. I disagree with that, and we can get into that, but not right now.
You disagree with that? All right, we'll save for another episode. But the context isn't the same. Black supremacy isn't a thing.
No, I'm not saying black supremacy. I'm just saying I get what his idea behind the statement was. I'm not saying black supremacy is a thing.
It's an idea that no one has to worry about at all. Like at all.
I don't know if no one has to worry about that, but I get what he was saying.
We're so far away from equality, and dudes talking about black supremacy. like what? Like what, fam?
I think you're hung on the word black. I think you're hung on the term black supremacy, and I agree. I've never heard of that. I don't know if that's what we should be talking about, but I get the idea behind the statement. I get it. I do. But we're talking about white Jesus and iconography that bolsters white supremacy, or did bolster white supremacy, or have, or whatever. Because no one was looking at statues of Robert E. Lee, that's his name, Robert E. Lee, saying, I feel so much better than black people now. This statue is really doing something to oppress black people right now. Well, not physically, but I guess the iconography was, right? And who's to say that in Africa, the iconography of Jesus, blonde hair, blue eyed.
And there's also
that doesn't matter.
Oh, we can't do that. We can't do that. It's not fair. In Africa, there's also many depictions of Jesus as a black man or as a Middle Eastern man. The same thing. There's depictions of Jesus in China as a Chinese man. There's many different depictions. There's many different depictions of Jesus. What?
How often do you see that?
How would I know how often I see?
I'm going to look into this. Do you think that the predominant image of Jesus in different countries, do you think he's portrayed respective to the country he's portrayed in?
A lot of places, yes. You've heard of Black Jesus, bro. Black Jesus is not a myth, and it's much more common. It's much more common in Africa than it is over here. So this is what I'm saying. It just feels that we're focused on something that is getting rid of police brutality and holding police accountable, right? And if we're part of the overarching Black Lives Matter movement, the overarching movement right now, white Jesus is so far off. It's like we don't need to talk about this right now. It's not something even the fact we're even taking time out of this is the point. There's so many more things that are so much more important than this. I'm not saying we have to forget the small stuff, but these are battles that can be fought much later. They're not important right now to everything going on, bro. People are losing their lives. People are getting killed. People are getting harassed by police. People are getting police are playing drugs on people, and it's been going on for so long.
And that should be.
And now you're coming here talking about white Jesus. I don't want to hear about no white Jesus, bro. I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about white Jesus, fam.
All right, but did Shaun King stop talking about all the other stuff too? Did anyone else?
I'm not saying he does, but now it's a deterrent for the. Here's what happens. Now it's a deterrent for people that people, like we said, there's people on the fence about these issues, or there's people that are just opposed to this. Now you go on to talk about white Jesus, it's gonna be like, what the, like, I'll never pick this guy. This guy's a loon. He's a loon. He's a nutcase, whatever. And even though he can explain it in articulate ways, right now in this time is just not important, and he loses credibility with people that may be willing to come to his side, or maybe willing to listen to him, because now he's coming on attacking their religion, and not like, look at his Instagram post that you just read off in the beginning.
He's attacking religion. I'll go back to the post.
No, but that's what it comes off as, bro. That's what I'm telling you. That's what it comes off as. Now you're saying, oh, the guy that I've prayed to, you're trying to change the depiction of it now. That's what it comes off as.
Jesus or Christian. This man said nothing bad about Jesus. How is he attacking your religion?
Because now you're trying to change who I feel Jesus looks like, or who I feel Jesus is.
If I told you that, something that you've been fed has been wrong for a long time, you're going to come at me? Well, I guess, yeah, people do that. Yeah.
People do that all the time.
People do that.
People do that all the time, bro. It's human nature. When you present arguments to people, people usually don't change on. It's been proven over time. I'm gonna hope I find the psychological case where they studied it. When you attempt to persuade people with facts, it almost never works, because people double down in their beliefs. I'm gonna research this case really hard, because I remember studying this in school. People don't change with facts over time. The discussion aspect is far more important when you're talking to somebody. The way you talk to them, the points you may give them, and all this, right?
But we're talking about people on the fence, right?
Or just people who have different views than you. It's people who have different views than you. So if you're a liberal, I'm a conservative, and you're trying to persuade me with facts, I'm not gonna likely change my beliefs. I'm gonna double down on my beliefs, because I have my own facts, so to say.
100% agree with you. But you said that this would turn off people who are on the fence.
Yes, even with them, because now it's like we are diverting our attention, because now if those people don't believe white supremacy, Jesus is part of white supremacy, or things like, there's things that are clear and obvious, and now we're going into a much more murkier place of religion, bro. Religion is very complicated.
These people are on the fence. So I'm assuming that they're in a moment where they're realizing that things are not exactly as they seem. I've not been privy to the reality of the situation for a long time. And I'm learning new things as I'm on the fence, trying to decide which way I'm going to lean. So we're talking about people who are on the fence. And these are people who are in a moment where they're understanding that things are not as they had always seemed, that they're finding new information, they're dissecting it, they're considering it, they're deciding what they think is right and what's not right. And they're having a hard time doing that, so they're on the fence right now. And now here comes Shaun King and other people saying, white Jesus has been used and is used as a form of white supremacy. You're going to say, fuck that, fuck y'all.
You don't think people will?
People on the fence?
Yes. You don't think people will? Or
sense.
You don't think people will just disagree with it?
No.
Where it's like,
on the fence. That's so if you're on the verge of losing, the people on the fence, the people who have been getting information.
Yes. So if you're a regular Christian person,
what they know.
If you're a regular Christian person, now this guy's coming here talking to you about getting rid of, if you're a white Jesus, or the Jesus you've been praying to your whole life, you don't think we're like, oh fuck, I'm not listening to this guy no more? You don't think that's gonna happen?
Iconography?
You don't think that's gonna happen, bro? Yes, iconography, bro. If I'm saying, oh, this person that you've been praying to, you don't think those people on the fence can be like, yeah, I'm not listening to this guy no more. He's talking about nonsense now. You don't think that's gonna happen?
Christian. All right, so people. All right.
No, honestly, fam.
People don't pray to statues. They're not praying to white Jesus.
Exactly, they're not. So you don't think this guy's coming in here talking to you about, oh, get rid of white Jesus, turn on all the statues of Jesus that currently exist, because those are all the statues of Jesus that we have in the Western world right now. So you don't think it's gonna be like, oh fuck this guy, I'm not paying attention no more? You know that's gonna happen? Like,
but not the vast majority of them.
No, think about that. Like, very the very iconic picture of Jesus in Brazil. Have you ever? You probably
Yes.
seen it.
Yeah, that big ass
The
statue.
giant
Yeah.
statue with his arms up. Right? And people talking about turn that down. You think people gonna be cool with that? But do you think people are gonna like that? Like this is what I'm saying, fam.
I'm guessing the people on the fence. I'm talking about the people on the fence.
Yes, you're
Obviously,
not gonna.
a lot of
You're
people.
gonna lose a lot of these people, fam. This is what I'm saying.
I don't
Why
think
right?
so.
Why right now? We should like this shouldn't be a
No,
discussion right now, fam.
hold on. You're saying that this is an automatic turnoff for people on
It's
the
going to
fence.
turn off a lot of people, and it's also going very far away from the things that we're fighting against. So you're talking about white supremacy. Yes, we're fighting white supremacy, but the iconography of Jesus to white supremacy is not even close to where it used to be held. And there's still that systemic belief of keeping of freaking white people being genetically superior or black people being inherently
Yes.
violent. Those are the things we have to address. And
Yes.
I want to go back to something important that you said, where it was, how do we know simply reallocating the money if we defund the police is going to stop any of the systemic and systematic problems that they have in education or housing? It's not going to. So simply just throwing money around to different places. But if we invest more in the thought process is, if we invest money in the communities, especially communities that are predominantly black and schools that are predominantly black, that they will get better, that they will have access to more resources, and they'll have more community things to do. So not only will their opportunities for the future be better in terms of housing or education or job prospects, but their communities will also be safer because now the kids are invested in. So this is the thought process. So
True.
yes, simply reallocating money is not gonna stop the racist inherent practices within those organizations and institutions. So there also need to be things like transparency. Like we had body cams. Body cams don't stop police brutality. They don't. It's been proven over time. Actually, like the last few years they've been implemented. It's been proven over time. And if you can even see with like the Elijah McClain case, which is one that just came up recently, though that happened in 2019. It happened in, I believe, August. So that happened in 2019. So and now it's just getting public attention because it got released outside, and there was public pressure for that.
Living with
So
police, there's a lot of things we're not seeing. Body cams,
yes,
right?
exactly, right. So there needs to be a level of transparency to address these issues. So these are the things we have to be discussing,
Yes.
and I feel like talking about a statue of white Jesus is not. It's not vital, bro. Like if you talk to me as just me as a black guy right now, do I care about white Jesus? I don't. I don't care. I'm not saying that it hasn't been used in the past before, but white Jesus right now to me is not important. Fam.
And
It's
that's
not
fine.
important.
You can say that we should not be focusing on this, or you should say that we should not even be discussing this. I can say that this is worth a discussion. I feel like there's going to be people on both sides. I
Yes,
feel
but
like it's at least worth a discussion. It's not worth diverting all, like most, not even like 10% or 5% of our resources to right now. I get it. I agree with you. But I don't think this is a distraction, it's a waste of time because it is related to white supremacy. Even if you think it's not as related right now, that's where Shaun King was coming from when he brought this up. That's where a lot of people come from when they bring this up. It's important. It matters. It's related to white supremacy. The degree of relativity is different for a lot of people. It's lower in general. I get it, but it is related. And so for me, at least, it is worth the discussion. Even if, like, I agree with you, even if there's things that right now we should be talking more about. And the fact
yes,
that
and
your statement that is going to turn off people on the fence automatically.
will turn a lot. You don't think it's gonna turn a lot of people off? You don't think me coming for your religion or me coming for your iconography of a religion is gonna turn a lot of people off? Even if you do educate those people, how many people are gonna be willing to be educated about this specific fact?
I agree with you. When it comes to people on the other side, firmly on the other side, I agree with you. But when it comes to people on the fence, I'm giving those people a benefit of the doubt because those are people who are open to information that they're getting right now. So I don't think they're going to see something and automatically get turned off because they've already probably gone through that before they got to white justice. Systematic racism, what the fuck? No, it's not. There's no systematic MLK, until they got information. Now they're on the fence. They've received information that would have automatically turned them off before. I don't think that a portrayal, a depiction of someone from their religion is going to automatically turn off everyone who's on the fence, or even the majority of them. I think they would still consider it,
They
especially.
might consider it, but I'm saying it's a deterrent from everything that's going on right now. Like I truly believe talking about white Jesus right now does not accomplish anything. I really, or the what it's going to accomplish is so small, especially compared to everything else, that it's really not that important right now. Like I said, you only have, if you're joining a cause and they represent something, you only have so many. You only have so many fucks to give. Like you're not gonna care about every single issue. Now you're bringing up issues. You're gonna be like, all right,
I get it.
like now you keep bringing up this or like statues or whatever. Now it's gonna be like, I thought you guys were about this. Now you're doing some other stuff that I don't agree with now. So now I'm not gonna support this movement.
And that's probably gonna happen with a lot of people.
And this is what I'm saying is why this conversation should come later when we can afford to lose some support. Right now, we can't afford to lose that support, fam. Right now, we have so much progress going through, and Colorado is really taking the steps of, especially like getting rid of qualified immunity is a big thing. Not taking testimonies of police without their body cams in situations where they're supposed to have their body cams on is a massive thing, right? But now there also needs to be work done with not even allowing internal investigations in the first place. Right. That's what, like, these are the things that I would like these people to be talking about. You never allow internal investigations in police departments in any cases of murder or police harassment or police brutality. It always has to be investigated by either another county or district or by the DOJ or FBI. That's what should be happening because you have people that work with each other. Hey Bob, do you have any details on that new case? And then the next day, oh, hey, Bob, you did that thing. Now I'm going to prosecute you. Like, that's not going to work, fam.
Bro, I'm not
These are the
arguing.
things we should be discussing, fam.
Yes,
I don't want to talk about white Jesus, bro. It's not important, bro.
I agree. If you don't want to do it, then don't do it.
But look what's going on. Look how many people are talking. Look how many, like, it just adds to the deterrent.
I'm gonna be open-minded, and I'm gonna pay attention to how many people this has deterred from the Black Lives Matter cause. How many people who were gonna fight for police brutality, but now against police brutality, but now will not fight against police brutality because of this side tangent that white Jesus has been and is used as a form of white supremacy. And this isn't just Shaun King saying this, by the way. The Archbishop said it. A lot of people in this religion, high status people,
Yes.
For a long time, they're saying this as well. So it's not just this random guy spouting shit out of it. But now it's like, what the fuck? Like, people in your religion are saying this.
Yes, but timing, bro. The timing.
So
the timing, fam.
I'm gonna be open-minded. I'm gonna consider that this could have a negative impact to the point where we don't accomplish what we set out to accomplish, because now people who would have fought with us are not gonna fight with us because this was brought up. I'm really interested to see how
it's not only that, but it's also people that may have joined the movement. It's also a thing you can say, like, oh, now these guys are going off something else. Now it could be a slippery slope. First it was Confederate statues, which, okay, I understand that. But now they're coming for Jesus. Now it's like, you understand, like, it's just the things that are seemingly unrelated to police brutality. Like, you're talking about white Jesus being related to police brutality. It's very like, these are on different ends of the spectrum, bro. And now, do you really want to waste this time and energy to make the link between white supremacy to police, white supremacy icons of Jesus to police brutality? It's a very big link, and it's not even that important in the link of police, because there's more important factors that go into police beatings and brutality of black people.
I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it outside of this video, but for people who will hear people say that this is a form of white supremacy and listen to their reasons, but then still willfully ignore it, I'm not going to try to keep those. That's willful ignorance. If I say this is connected and here's how, they're like, oh, you're attacking my religion. That's willful ignorance. That's saying Kaepernick knelt because he was disrespecting the vets. He said why he was kneeling. That's willful ignorance. And so, yes, it's going to turn off a lot of people, but that's because of willful ignorance. If we're telling you why and how, and you're ignoring that, I can't do nothing for you.
You can't, but the Kaepernick thing, there was a very simple link to that, bro. Somebody asked him, he explained what it was. It's very simple. Now you're trying to break down the history of how white supremacy was used and how they changed the iconography of Jesus. And not only that, it's also a religious belief, bro. Like, you have to, people aren't the most logical about their religious beliefs.
And religion.
It's very, so this is what I'm saying. We shouldn't be.
feel very strongly about both.
What happened?
We feel very strongly about both.
They can, but religion, fam.
I know. I don't want to say which one's
Come on, bro.
feel more strongly against, but I digress. That was my point. I feel like if you're gonna say that, if you're saying this, you're attacking my religion, that on your part is willful ignorance, because we are saying why we're bringing this up. and it makes sense, and we're not the only ones saying it. So if you're being willfully ignorant, stop it.
The timing, bro. The timing is poor. The
And
timing is poor.
I'm willing to look. I'm willing to give that the benefit of the doubt. I'm willing to say that maybe it is. That if now we don't accomplish, and now we could lose so much support that
I'm not saying it. I'm
the whole
saying
thing is
the
discredited,
timing is
then yeah, the
poor.
timing would have been wrong.
We're on a straight path that leads to, like, we're on a single branch that leads to an overarching tree of systemic problems with racism in America, and the branch that goes for white Jesus and white supremacy is very, very small. It's not something we need to address right now. I'm not saying we never need to address it, but the timing is really, really poor, and I don't want to hear about this right now at all. The
So
timing's
you
too poor.
think we should bring it up when we've already accomplished most of what we want to accomplish?
It's something that's not. Yeah, we can do that, but it's right now. It's not that important, fam. You have to get, like, if we're fighting for things right now, we have to get the important stuff out the way, bro. Look at what these people are talking about, like, as great forms of changing, like, racism in America or racism around the world, right? Oh, a Juneteenth holiday. Cool. Juneteenth is important. Not really that big, fam. Hey, let's
I didn't
change.
see about that. So
Huh? You said what?
I didn't see anything about like a fight about making Juneteenth a holiday. So I don't
There
know.
was a no. They've Democrats have really were about to pass it. They're trying to get a bill signed that said making Juneteenth a federal holiday. As great as that would be, as important as that would be, like, it's these are things that are not as important. I don't care about a day. I like. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I
Like,
understand.
people are fighting for things, and now it's becoming like you're giving like, I don't want the stuff we get, before people, like, go back to normal life, go back to pre-quarantine life, go back to whatever. I don't want that to go to areas that are not as important as the main things that need to be focused on right now.
So when we said that this is a form of white supremacy and they should be removed, we're not saying, yo, everyone, let's do this right now. Let's go vandalize churches. By the way, don't go vandalizing churches. Don't break any stained glass windows. None of that. Please. It's private property. It's going to get taken down. They need to do that themselves. Don't do none of that stupid stuff. When we say that, it's not, I didn't see it as like a call to immediate action. I look at it as more of an informational kind of thing, something to be aware of, something to actually discuss, not to remove focus from what happened to Breonna Taylor and Ahmaud Arbery and Elijah McClain and all those people. But if we're going to talk about dismantling white supremacy, this is something to consider as well.
It is, bro. But just like, go on social media and see how much less the Black Lives Matter movement is being talked about. Look at the news coverage, see how much less is being talked about as it was 2 weeks ago.
Do you think it's because of this?
No, I'm not saying it. I'm not. No. Not at all. Not because of this at all.
Oh, okay.
But, like, what I'm saying is, now that's in the mainstream and there's so much attention on it, we should go for the most important aspects right now. We shouldn't even be talking about other things because it's gonna fade out. The support and, like, it's a good example to have, and that's not even related to this at all. You remember the ALS bucket challenge?
Yes.
Right, everyone's pouring ice on their head, and they raised a ton of money in that time. They raised over millions of dollars over that time. And now it's not in the mainstream anymore, but they were able to get a lot of funding for their causes and work to developing more of a cure, right? So now, like, if that's what I'm saying, like, the even things that are as important as fighting a debilitating neurological disease, even things like that, they'll fade out into existence, and people are just living their daily normal lives. So while our things at the top right now, while our things are at the center of media attention, let's tackle the big things first, and we'll win these other culture wars at a different time. Like, right now, I don't care about winning this statue thing right now. It's not that important, man. Right now, like, changing police brutality, changing redlining, changing the inequities in education. That's what's important to me right now, man.
Yes.
And, like, explaining those things to people. There's people that don't believe systemic racism exists or systematic racism.
You got to break it down,
right? You do have to break it down, right? Right now, we can do the police, and then, like, imagine when you have to explain redlining to them. Imagine when you have to do this and that to them. It's gonna be like, oh, they're gonna be
gerrymandering,
yes. They're gonna be like, they might be mentally exhausted and tap out. That's what I'm saying. Even the best of people might be mentally exhausted and tap out. So we should try to accomplish as much as we can for the bigger picture, and then as time goes on, we can address issues like why Jesus is not important right now.
Everything saying, yo, let's fight for this right now. just as hard as we're fighting for all these other policies. No,
I get what you're saying. That you can focus on multiple things. Of course.
and not everything is important. All this is right now is just a discussion.
Yeah.
This is disseminating information to the public, so things that you may not have known, things to keep in mind, things to consider, be aware of. That's what this is. That's what I saw it as. Like I said, I didn't see this as a call to immediate action. Like I didn't feel any type of distraction.
It wasn't, but like look at the
post, and I was like, yo.
Yeah, you saw this post, but you're already supportive of the movement. Though. Look at all the backlash this guy's faced for making this comment. This is what I'm saying. Like it's just a thing that can be used as a deterrent. Right now, it's not that important right now.
Like, backlash from? Like I've read the comments and a lot.
No, he's definitely getting backlash from people that are already opposed to us, people that are racist, whatever. But he's also getting backlash from the religious community, from that have nothing to do with the Black Lives Matter movement, like for or against. He's getting a lot of backlash for it.
He posted.
Are they going to see that?
Members of that same religious community.
Yes,
exactly what he said.
They're not going to see that, though. They're going to see a guy came from our religion. They're not going to be willing to talk to them again, though. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That's willful ignorance, FM. Too bad.
I don't think it's willful ignorance. You're talking about somebody that you don't know of and just came to talk to you about get rid of my depiction of my religion. That's not willful ignorance, bro. It's like, who is Shaun King to tell me this, right? And then you could even break it down, but it's like, I don't know you. Now you're coming for me, or you're coming for my practice beliefs.
I'm coming for your iconography because
it's still part of the religion.
Am I saying this?
You can't.
I said this, you got mad at me, and then I said, well, it's not just me. And then you ignore that? F you. It's cool. You can stay mad. That's cool.
Hey, bro. You have to understand
you're not just mad at me, you're mad at your religious leaders as well. And that's on you. That's great.
We're gonna have a topic of semantics coming up soon, man.
We should.
Words, man. It's very important for them. Anyways.
Like I was gonna say, like real quick before we wrap this up, I was gonna say that people who are for the movement who saw this and disagreed, they didn't say I don't support this movement anymore. They just said, yo, I think we should be focusing on this. Exactly what you're saying. You're not turned off for fighting against brutality now.
No, I'm not.
A lot of people are in your position and doing what you're doing. They just say, I think we should be focused on this, and then they went right back and focused on it.
Yeah, but that's also because like this movement affects me personally and as well. You have to get your head, like, bro, what we have to do is we have to get our minds into the head of what other people would be, fam. Not us, bro. Not us. We already support these causes. They affect us personally. They affect our families. They affect the experiences we have. We have to get our minds into the heads of people that have never experienced this, bro. So that's what we have to. That's what we have to do. And if you're someone that's never experienced this, and you're okay, hey, I'm gonna support this cause, and now this cause is talking about something else that I may not believe in. Like, how many things that I may not believe in do you have with somebody else? Like, how many things? That's the thing.
Talking about something else and related it to the cause that they've been.
It could, but the link is not that direct. The link is not that direct. Is something that's clear as day that everyone could support. So when that link is not that direct, it's something that everyone could support, which is like, oh, black people getting murked by police, and you have thousands of videos. And even if there is white people, like, oh, then it's very easy to see why police should change. That link is very direct. You're talking about an indirect link that takes more time and energy to explain. You're going to lose some people in that process. I don't want to lose people right now while we have all this momentum. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You guys at home, you heard the post, you read it yourself. You saw what was said. Let us know if you think that this is too much of a tangent, if this is so unrelated that it actually detracts, or if it's worth at least talking about, and if you don't think this is necessarily a distraction right now.
I think the timing is very poor, and it's not
and if
worth
you think the
discussing.
timing is poor as well.
That's what I want to focus. Is like, is the timing poor? Is this something we should be talking about given the momentum we have for the cause?
Whether it's a distraction or not, because right now is probably not the time, like you said. And that's
anyways, Opinion Factory Podcast. We're on Apple, Stitcher, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Let us know what you think in the YouTube comments. Be sure to give us a review. If you like the audio, we implore you to share with your friends. Yep. Like, comment, subscribe.
And we're going to see you guys next week.